Okay, so we are going to have a short and sweet welcome back meeting today. I did put together an agenda. I'm just going to go over that quickly, and I will not PowerPoint you guys to death, I swear. We are just going to talk today a little bit about NDPC membership benefits for those of you who may not be familiar with them or who might be new. We're going to do a quick round of board member introductions. They're going to share either some fun facts or upcoming events with you, and then we're going to entertain some questions if you have questions. And so like I said, I'm not going to PowerPoint you to death, but I just wanted to put this up on the screen mainly so I don't forget anything. So for those of you who may not know, we are a statewide organization. We have about 120 members across North Dakota and bleeding over into some other states. Our primary focus of our organization, the North Dakota Professional Communicators, is education as well as networking. Our education that we offer during what I call the school year. And that is a combination of face-to-face and virtual meetings. Each one of our 4 districts across the state takes turn hosting virtual meetings, and then typically every month or 6 weeks or so, as they've got topics to share with the local membership, they'll host local events as well. Annually, we host a spring conference. This last year, Jill hosted for us up in Minot. And this next year, Andrea made a public announcement that Grand Forks is hosting. So I'm holding her to that. So plan on going to Grand Forks this next spring. We haven't settled on a date or location, but that's our plan. I wanted to highlight too something that's little known and something I guess I want people to kind of start thinking about sooner. We did give away 2 professional development grants this last year. We gave away one in honor of Ellen Crawford, who was our longtime treasurer, and that went to Deb Dragseth. And Deb is on our call today, and congratulations to her. She's going to use those funds to go to the national conference in Colorado. And then we also gave a professional development grant. That one's more of a general one to Candace Brecky, and Candace is using those funds to help attend the national conference as well. The grant that Candace received, just so you are aware, doesn't necessarily have to go for paying for the national conference. If somebody's got a side project they're working on, or if someone's a freelancer and is looking for a source of funds for a project or to attend another activity, you might want to consider applying for that sooner. We pushed hard for it when the registration opened up for the national conference, because I guess, as I keep telling Pam, we have money. Why are we hanging on to it? Let's give some of it away. That's what those resources are intended for. So we said we do have professional development grant money. So if that's something you're interested in, do feel free. Like, you can reach out to me and learn more about that. This past year, we also gave away some scholarship money. We actually made that into kind of an internship this last year as well. And Cora Hume from NDSU, she's now a senior this year. She was a junior last year when she was our intern. Helped us out for a semester and helped out with some conference planning and did some social media graphics for us and things like that. So we didn't make her work too hard for it. Plus, it was good networking experience for her as well. And so the last 2 items, membership benefits, we do have an annual communications contest, and entry for that typically opens up around the beginning of the year. So if you've got projects that you would like to enter into that communications contest, there are a wide variety of topics, everything from photography to media pitches to maybe you wrote a big, I don't know, plan for communications, or maybe you did a bunch of education manuals or something. There's a huge variety of topics you can enter into our communications contest. And I'm going to jump ahead. I was going to share this when I got to Heather's portion of the program, but I think we had 125 entries on the state level last year. We had 53 that advanced to national, and we have 40 that are placing at the national level this year. And so great opportunity to get some recognition as well as to get some feedback on your work. And then the last item on my list is we also annually recognize an individual as our communicator of achievement. And a lot of times people think, well, that's going to be somebody who's a member of our board. It isn't necessarily. Amanda Kozier is our communicator of achievement this year, and Amanda is with JLG in Grand Forks, I believe. And Amanda, I don't think she's with us here today. She's going to be recognized in Colorado at our national conference. And so you see her over the course of the year, even if she doesn't place at the national level, do congratulate her. She's done a lot of phenomenal things in her career, definitely worthy of recognition. So I'm going to jump ahead to my next slide. These are all of our board members. I am going to take this down so you can see their bright, shiny faces. And we'll go through the list. And Nikki, you're going to be the first one up, but I will just share something about myself. This is actually my 9th year with the North Dakota Professional Communicators, and I've been on the board the whole time, and this is my 2nd year as president of the organization. And so planning to take over for me after this next year is Nikki Kruger. And Nikki, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and maybe about your role on the board?
Sure. For those of you I haven't met, I'm Nikki Kruger. I'm the communications director at the Energy and Environmental Research Center. We're on the campus of the University of North Dakota in Grand Forks. I've been here for 8.5, 9 years, something like that. Before that, I worked in healthcare communications, quality improvement, things like that. And my like fun fact or whatever is that I've been to every single hospital in North Dakota, every single one at least once. Not as a patient, but working with them on different quality improvement initiatives while I was working at the med school for a while. As in my role for membership for the state level organization, North Dakota Professional Communicators, what I'm really hoping to focus on and making an effort to focus on this year is getting our student membership up. I working with some of the marketing and communication professors here on campus at UND to get into their classrooms, talk about our organization, what the benefits are to students, how affordable it is, what a great networking, potential jobs when you graduate, to have those connections. We have, had a couple of students the last couple of years that have really just shine when it comes to being able to talk about their program, finding jobs after they're done with school, and have, interesting experiences from being members of this group to put on their resume too. So, and then for those of you in other areas of the state where you have, schools also that might be interested in having, some student memberships join us. I'll be kind of reaching out to all of you too throughout the next couple of months so that we can see what we can do as far as outreach to some of our colleges in the state to get some student memberships.
Awesome. Thank you, Nikki. So the next person who was on my list who was supposed to be presenting or introducing herself was Heather Severson. And Heather is our 2nd vice president of communications contest. And like I said, I shared her fun fact already. And unfortunately, Heather isn't feeling well today. And so she bowed out. And then following Heather, Mary McCall, who is our secretary. Mary is in the Fargo area and works for an engineering firm there. And I think it's HDR. Heather works at AE2S. And Mary had a client meeting today, so you understand she is not available. But next up on our list is Pam Gibb. Pam serves multiple roles on the board. And why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Pam?
Hi, I'm Pam Gibb. I've been with NDPC a long time. I'm actually living in Moorhead, so I'm one of those kind of across the river folks. I was with Moorhead Schools as the communications coordinator for 21 years, and since the last 5 years, I've been doing freelance communications, and I held most offices in NDPC in some shape or form. I feel like I've never actually run the communications contest, but I have announced the communications contest awards at conferences before and filled in that way. Otherwise, right now I'm a treasurer, and so I'm the one that's a little tight with our money because I always want us to be able to pay for Wild Apricot. And Wild Apricot is the system that runs our membership and our event registration and accepts credit card payments and everything. And so I squirrel away as much money as we can so we can pay for that every other year so that we can get the discount for it. But it's a big chunk of money out every other year. So otherwise, thrilled because Jill's conference last spring came out ahead, so we did okay, and we're hoping to keep running conferences where we make sure that we're breaking even or making a tiny little bit of money on them, so that it is not a cost to. We can keep them affordable to our members, but yet we're not impacting NDPC's bottom line on that. My other role is historian, and so I've been elected historian, I don't know, for a while now. I think the historian role goes to a member who just likes to have boxes of stuff from NDPC in their basement. But I am using my appointed role as website editor to transfer some of the historian materials to our website and to in the members area so we can go back and look at some of that material. And then we will probably be doing yet another, we have a fair amount of material stored with the Historical Society in Bismarck. And so we may be doing another donation because it looks like we have not donated anything since like 2003 or 2006, somewhere in there. And so we're due probably to do another like removal of some of the materials and put those in the archives with the state. So that is a project that is ongoing. So yeah.
Thank you, Pam. And yes, Pam does pitch in for us in many capacities. So we're very lucky to have her on the board and have her willingness to jump in. So I'm going to move to district directors now. And I did see Andrea on here. So Andrea, I'm going to pick on you first.
Sure. Andrea Bowe, I am the engagement director at A2S in Grand Forks. And you have me as the director for the Northeast section, but honestly, there's three of us that work together to do all the things that we need to do, book speakers and have meetings and kind of keep on top of things. So I really work closely with Nikki Kruger, who's on, and also Jamie Schumacher, and I'm not sure if she's on or not, but Jamie does a ton of work too in the Northeast section. So I would say for directors, if you're a director, it always helps to have a couple pals to do it with you so that you can do the best job. Fun fact, I am Pam's worst nightmare because I like to spend money. So I'm always trying to think of ways to promote NDPC and just bring bigger awareness. And yes, I do want to spend money. So I will continue to think of ways to do that. And Pam can think of ways to make me stop. But we have a lot of exciting things happening in the Northeast region. We have our first gathering. It's going to be an in-person gathering on September 30th. And the topic is Canva versus Adobe. And so we're going to have people on both sides of the aisle duke it out on why you should use either one of those platforms. So it'll be a lot of fun. We are going to start promoting that here pretty soon. And then, like Sarah said, I like to say yes to things. And in addition to spending money. So I said yes to the conference in Grand Forks. And I think that it really goes along with our purpose of engaging students. Like Nikki said, that she's been working closely with UND Communications. We're looking at the concept of maybe co-hosting it with UND Communications and having it on campus because there's so many, the campus is like brand new. They have done so many upgrades to it. So there's a really lot of neat spaces we could have it. We could engage students that way. and just have a really great conference. So inviting everybody to Grand Forks, I think in the spring. Well, we still have to pick a date. So I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but I hope everybody can make it. Other than that, I think that's it for me.
Awesome. Thank you, Andrea. All right, next up is our newest director and one we are thrilled to have on board. Tara, are you ready? Tara agreed to take over the helm of the Southeast District, which is the Fargo area. So go ahead, Tara. And Tara, looks like you're muted.
Sorry about that. Thank you. I was trying to get my video on firstly. I was off video for a moment, but I'll lead with my fun fact that I have my turkey hat on today because we're delivering the turkey lunches for the United Way. So we're just finishing up with that. But yes, excited to be the new district director for the Southeast. And I've been a part of NDPC since 2019. And in my day job, I am the marketing specialist for a company called Healthy Food Ingredients for the past 22 years. And just excited for getting a good mix of topics lined up for speakers for this year. And I think kind of one of our bigger focus points will be to continue with our in-person meetings, but hopefully get Zoom or something set up so that we can include more kind of outlying communities like Valley City and some of those areas, and they can be able to participate in our speakers and our meetings as well.
Awesome. Yes, we did. That was a conversation we had at the state conference. We have a professor who teaches communications classes at Valley City State who's very interested in getting her students involved in getting more education opportunities for them. And so that's awesome. So it's not always right in our backyard. Sometimes we have to extend a little bit farther. So Jill is one of our longest serving district directors. Jill Schramm, why don't you go ahead and take over? And you're muted too, Jill.
Sorry about that. Yep. I am associate editor at the Minot Daily News, and I've been here a long time. I've been with North Dakota Professional Communicators back when it was Press Women, and that was 40 years ago. I've been on the board in various other positions before I was district director, but I've been in this director position for some time. And we have, like the other districts, we have our events that we hold, and we also sponsor virtual events. I want to let you know about a virtual event that's coming up in November, on November 5th at noon. We're going to hear from Nancy Wilson with Luminate in Grand Forks. She's going to be talking about things like healthy workplace cultures and staff appreciation and fostering purpose-driven teams, that type of thing. We're also having a local meeting in November on the 18th, and that's with Pam Hopkins with Trinity Health, who's going to be speaking on internal communications. That's what we have planned so far for this year. We're still working on something we might get going in October. Haven't firmed that up yet, though.
Okay, thank you, Jill. So I was looking for Jennifer Skay, and I don't see Jennifer on our list here. Jennifer is our Southwest North Dakota District Director, and that's my district that I live in. And so I do know what she's got going on since it is in my backyard. If you are in the Bismarck area, Jennifer is planning a welcome back lunch on Tuesday, September 24th. And I believe that's going to be at Broadway Grill, and that's just an informal gathering for us to get together and do some networking and see what everybody's been up to over the summer. And then Jennifer has our first virtual meeting of the season. She's got that tentatively scheduled, I believe, for October 14. And if you saw the newspaper article that hit today on North Dakota newspapers and their value and what the local newspaper association is doing to try to better educate people on why they should be paying attention to local news and making those media outlets a priority. We're actually going to have Cecile, I believe it's Wermeyer. Werman? Cecile's last name.
Weirman.
Weirman. Okay. Cecile is going to be our speaker, and she's going to be she's their executive director, and she's going to be our speaker that day and talking about that initiative. So, like I said, mark your calendars for Welcome Back Lunch on September 24th for the Bismarck area, and then the Newspaper Association presentation on October 14 at noon. And Jennifer should have registration information on Wild Apricot on our website here pretty soon. Also not able to be with us today, but I wanted to spotlight another one of our new board members, Roxanne Solanin. Roxanne is a columnist and a freelance writer in the Fargo area. She has taken on the role as our communications outreach director. That a lot of that involves just helping keep our social media flowing. And so if you have job posts to share, or you have some other announcement, our local district directors work with Roxanne to promote, like when they host virtual events. I work with Roxanne to promote like our award winners, that sort of thing. So each one of our district directors collaborates with her in various ways, but if you need to reach out to Roxanne, do message our accounts. Roxanne and I both monitor those, and we're happy to share, if it's appropriate, share job announcements and that sort of thing for you on our social media accounts. And so the last person that I have, and I don't think Tammy is on here either. Tammy Fogel is our past president. Didn't know I don't see her name. Tammy just keeps us upright and keeps reminding me when I forget to do things, like forgetting to have the minutes approved during board meetings and things like that. She does a great job after serving as our president for a couple of years of just making sure that we're on track. And so we appreciate her as well. So I am going to open the floor up to questions. If anybody has questions, you can drop them into the chat, or I believe you guys should be able to unmute yourselves as well. If anybody has questions, or if any of our board members have anything else that they want to share. Otherwise, I'll give you guys a second if you're busy typing away. Otherwise, we're going to call this a wrap. Again, our next statewide virtual meeting will be October 14. Jill's got her meeting in November. Keep an eye on our website and emails for information on those events. If you're for some reason not receiving our emails about NDPC activities, do make sure you're checking your junk or your spam folder and make sure we're not landing in there. And if you need help with anything, don't be afraid to reach out to us. Both Pam and I keep an eye on, or try to keep an eye on, the organization's Gmail account. So you're welcome to message us that way as well. So otherwise, I will let you guys go and give you back the rest of your lunch hour. But thank you much for joining us today.